Good morning and welcome to the Family Quest stream. My name is HistoryWes. It's a good thing I started early because I had some technical difficulties, but we are up and going now. And today we are doing some archaeology. First thing we need to do is get to our archaeology site, which is some distance away. I use chunk base to locate possible archaeology sites. And I searched 10 of those possible sites before I found one that actually had an actual archaeological site in it. So we've got some gear packed up, and it's a good thing I brought a shelter box because I forgot to take my, or rather it's a good thing I brought my ender chest because I forgot to take my brush out of it. That's fine. And we are going south on our minecart track, and we need to go to negative 15,700 roughly. So we've got a little bit of a trip here. This minecart track spans our world from north to south in a couple of legs, and it is not complete in that all the supports have not been built, but the supports are right under me. Can't see them, but they are. When we stop, I'll show you. So we still got about 3,000 blocks to cover this direction. And we've got to fly in that direction about 4,000 blocks. And let's see. I've got enough rockets. I have more in my ender chest. So I have been using a program called Unmined to look at maps of my world. It shows you the areas which you've explored, not the unexplored areas. And so I downloaded a new updated map from Minecraft Realms last night, and I got a message for the first time that says this world is too large to upload. So it's still on there, but we can no longer download it and then re-upload it because it's, according to the message, over 5 gigabytes. Now I looked at the amount of space that the folder takes on my desktop, and it's actually over 9 gigabytes. So it's a big world. There's a lot of undeveloped area in it. It's got a lot of builds in it that we built over the past 4 years. If it ever does become too big for Minecraft Realms and I have to take it down, or for some reason I decided not to use that anymore, for instance, if my family members stop playing, I'm just going to download and keep it as a single player long-term world. We started this world, as I've mentioned before, the day that the Village of Pillage update came out. It was selected from a seed that promised that all all the different biomes were within 2,000 blocks of spawn, and they were at the time. Of course, they've added biomes. So everywhere near spawn does not have the newest landscaping. It doesn't have the mountains. But out here it does. Where we are now, it has all been generated under 1.18 or beyond. As we come up here, you'll notice there are some blocks sticking out on the side of the track. That shows where I have not yet put supports, but supports are needed under this section right here, and each of these successive blocks. Someday I'll get around to doing all that. Every once in a while I'll just load up an inventory and fly out and build that many pillars, as many as I can, as many supports as I can get in that time. Okay. Got about another 1,000 blocks. Raining. So I can't tell if the sun is going down or not. But I do have a bed with me, and this minecart track is completely safe. We're way above the surface, and you can see about every other block there is a glowstone. So I've been streaming irregularly. I streamed the other day. I think I'm going to start streaming Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Or maybe just 2 of those days. I'll have to see. But I want to get into a regular routine, have regular stream days. With the exception of maybe the last 2 that I've done, the streaming that I did was all way back 2 years or more. Alright, let's see. We're almost at our cutoff point. And so, hop off our minecart. And see if I can shoot it here. Got it. Okay. Down to bed and sleep. Okay. So we want 15,736. So right about here. And we need to fly about 4,000 blocks in this direction. In other words, we need to get out of the area that was spawned with 118 and a 119 and get to the 120 spawn territory. Now the other locations that I checked I thought were also spawned under 120, but there were no archaeological sites there. There wasn't the terrain that was appropriate for them. I would be in jungle, for instance, or on a river, or in a snowy biome, places that the trail ruins do not show up in. So we're just going to take a nice and easy flight, not have to spam too many rockets. We're almost halfway there already. And I put up a very large, tall pillar to mark the location, which I visited earlier, but didn't do any digging yet. And I had a thought that I would build a walkway through the nether. That would have involved building a pathway another 400 blocks, and for the one archaeological site out here, I didn't think I wanted to bother. I was also thinking I would build a little cabin out here. You know, if we end up having more than just the site and the cabin, if we have something else going out here, eventually I might make a hallway. Okay, we need 4472, our X mark. Move just slightly to the left to get back to 36. And there's our pillar. So there's our location. And there's the trail road. Sweet. The first thing I'm going to do here is take down this pillar. And I'm going to remove some of the trees around here. I removed a few, but not very many. Okay. So I have a small amount of expertise with real archaeology. I took enough archaeology classes in college that I got a minor in anthropology, and that gave me enough to have a teacher's license for teaching archaeology, which I have never used because our school district has no archaeology classes. I had a license to teach English and history, which I did between the two of them for 30 years. And I just retired. Technically, I don't retire until the end of August, but since it's the summer and I'm not teaching anyway, oh, I guess I can get rid of that mess there. Okay. There's a fox over there. There's scaffolding before it despawns. Okay. First thing I want to do is, yeah, here we go. Locate our chunk borders. Because I think, how big is the chunk area? Let's get ourselves a crafting bench. It's in the middle of a chunk. So okay. It's not very many. Okay, if we do this chunk, okay, then yeah, so we're going to end up doing 4 chunks total. And okay, are we 4 chunks? Yeah, 4 chunks. So we don't want to stop here. We want to go all the way over. And my idea is completely to excavate out this site. And then build a replica of the building above ground nearby. Okay, so the other side of the site is right here. Can't jump over the wall. Okay. Shouldn't leave a hole in the fence. Okay. Okay, we've got abundant materials here. And we've got the sun setting. So temporarily, we will place our bed right here. A couple of torches around. And take a nap. Okay. I hate creepers anyway, but we definitely don't want them destroying priceless archaeological artifacts. People complain about phantoms all the time. I find phantoms fairly innocuous compared to creepers. In fact, I really don't mind phantoms at all. I hardly ever encounter them. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a hole. Okay. One great thing is we got plenty of materials here. Okay. There is a professional archaeologist who does Minecraft online, and I wish I remembered his name. But he, of course, does a much better job than I'm doing at showing exactly what is really involved in dealing with an archaeological site. And I'm not attempting to recreate the workings of an actual archaeologist. Just approximate it in Minecraft terms. We're going to need some storage. Which I think we should probably get right now. Here, put some of this unrelated stuff in there. We can sit down our shulker box too. Continue with our fencing. Anyway, as I was saying, I want to do some regular streaming. And this is not in any way, it's not in any way my goal to become a professional Minecrafter or a professional YouTuber. So one of the things I want to do now that I'm retired is play Minecraft on a regular basis. And oh, I went too far. And I was watching Mumbo Jumbo, and he had an older video that was how to make your Minecraft world the best. I don't remember exactly what the title was, but the gist of it was doing things to make your enjoyment of your world reach the ultimate. One of them was don't cheat, and another was swim. No, it wasn't swim. That's quite a deep little thing there. Another one was stream your video. So here I am, streaming my video. I guess the idea is to get more invested in your game. Okay, so I don't know that this is really necessary, but for the purposes of completeness, there we go. Now that we've got our entire place fenced in, entire archaeological site, we're going to remove the trees. Switch shovels. I've got one labeled a shovel and one labeled a spade because one of them has silk touch on it, the other doesn't. And it did me absolutely no good to label them that way because I don't remember which one is the silk touch, the shovel, or the spade. The definition in real life, I believe, has to do with the shape of the blade. So I think these are both spades, and that they have that kind of pointy shape in the front, whereas a real shovel has like a square front. Probably a distinction that nobody pays any attention to nowadays. Language changes like that. Whatever word people use for things is the word that it becomes. It doesn't matter what's in the dictionary in the long run. If people use a specific word for something, that's what that thing is. Most of our words are just random anyway. We have a few onomatopoeic words that sound like what they are, but not very many. Whip is one. I also have a silk touch hoe and a regular hoe, although they're both labeled hoe. And I was using the silk touch, which I didn't necessarily want to do because I prefer to have sticks, I think. Again, it doesn't matter in the long run, I guess. And second day on our expedition. I'm going to be streaming till about 1:30, so an hour and a half. And I'm sure we won't be anywhere near done, but we'll just see how much we can get done in that time. This is one of the best things they ever did in Minecraft, is making the hoe work as it does with leaves. what a huge deal it turned out to be. Nobody even used to make hoes, except for at the beginning of the game to clear farmland. Suddenly they're useful for collecting all kinds of things. Okay. So, now we want to start removing the dirt. We're going to do that very carefully. That looks like a suspicious sand right there. Okay, I need my ender chest. My brushes in there. I need to get rid of more junk that I picked up, and wood. Okay, that's pretty good. What's that? Oh, a chicken. Alright, so. Blue pane of glass. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to make another chest. And a sign. We're going to put it right here and put the sign on it. This is going to be artifacts. So we've got blue glass, light blue stained glass, so we know that they use that in their build. That will be important when we're reconstructing things. Okay. None of these others are suspicious, are they? No. No, no. So these gravel, which are debris, we're going to remove. We're going to leave the terracotta where it is, because that is the construct itself, the building, and we want it as pristine as possible. One of the important things about archaeology is context. You want to know where everything was when you found it. That blue glass was right up here on the top, so presumably it was at the top of that building. Of course, there's also the possibility that it was left after the building was no longer in use by somebody else coming along. But I think that's unlikely, since these buildings are actually buried quite deep. They're not near the surface. So I think we can assume that they're pretty old in Minecraft terms. So there's so many things out and around which are not buried, like jungle temples or desert temples, things like that. And in reality, they would probably be buried more easily than stuff in this area, because sand would be blown up more easily than this kind of dirt would collect, and the jungle would overgrow that area too. Alright, we've got another one here. candle. That's quite interesting. Oh, these are regular. Okay. So let's go down to the next level. Also, in a real archaeological site, we would have a lot more stuff out here. For instance, somewhere nearby we would have what they call a midden. Midden is a word that means kitchen, but refers to trash piles, basically, of ancient people. They live in a place for a long time. They dump their refuse in one place. You can imagine how it builds up. Well, same thing happens to us. I mean, we have massive garbage dumps of our own. Ancient people did that too, and they didn't they didn't get rid of their trash far from their homes. They were usually pretty close, as indeed we do too. We'll need another box just for dirt, I think. Actually, I'm going to need a bunch of boxes. And I'm not worried about any dirt despawning either, so stay away from that for a minute. So today's a perfect day to play Minecraft, where I am in the American Southwest. Currently it's about 117 degrees outside, Fahrenheit. I don't know what that translates to in Celsius, but I know it translates into pretty damn hot. Plus, I'm having my car serviced. Took advantage of a service for the first time where they will come and pick up my car and then deliver it when it's done, so I don't even have to go out of the house. So, okay. So we got no suspicious sand at this level. And that one under there is not either. Okay. See, now the people that I've seen reconstructing things like this online, they'll just look at this and just like add a little flat roof of terracotta on here. And you've got to remember that, first of all, this thing is a ruin. So these blocks may not even be in this configuration. Maybe they're fallen. This one might have fallen to them up there. I mean, that would be the obvious one. There would be other pieces. And then anything that was made out of wood is simply long gone. Okay. A bunch of wood. I'm going to make a bunch of chests. This is just going to be for our dirt and gravel. I can't believe it's already the end of the third day. And this is about the pace of real archaeology. Take it slow. Make sure nothing is destroyed. If there were any native villages nearby here, we would need to notify them and get their cooperation and approval. Because at least under American law, Native Americans have a large degree of control over any ancient remains found on their lands, and usually outside of their lands too, in the general areas. Even though they may not be a direct relation. For instance, you've got people living in the Southwest whose ancestors may have been here for a couple thousand years, but then again, you're finding remains that are, 18,000 years old. They just found some tools that were 18,000 years old somewhere in the Northwest. So, do those belong to people who have lived here for 2,000 or 3,000 years, or the people who have lived here for 200 years, or nobody, or everyone? I don't have an answer to that question. Something that has to be worked out by everybody, I guess. So considering the age of this trail ruin, and the fact that it may well be much older than the desert temples or jungle temples or underwater monuments, my belief is that this is probably not built by current villagers, but by the ancient builders. Now, whether they built the other structures I just mentioned, I think is pretty questionable. But due to the age, I think that this is probably the case with this. And I think there were a few hints that this was built by an ancient, I think one of the developers specifically stated this was built by a civilization which no longer exists. So that would preclude it being a villager home or a villager construction. Okay. Any of this suspicious? Does not look to be. No. I'm getting back far away, so it's more easily to control getting one block at a time. No. Because I've got efficiency 5 tools. Okay. Alright. Is that suspicious? No. Neither are these. Okay. Now our work is going to become bigger, and we're going to be slowed down more because we've got full levels to dig out here. Let's see, we've got 4 chunks. I think there are 128 blocks per level per chunk. I could be wrong, but I think that's right. Anyway, my stating that this was a construct of the ancient builders is just a hypothesis. We're not going to conclude that until we actually get some evidence, because you don't want to jump to conclusions. Let's see. Okay. Alright, we're still connected. My connection went a little crazy there for a minute. Okay. Yeah, we don't want to make any concrete decisions about what we have found until we're actually sure. That was a problem with a lot of archaeology in the past. Archaeologists jumped to conclusions about what they had found, thinking that they had found something that they hadn't, you know, the lost tribes of Israel, or the lands of the Queen of Sheba or something, when in fact they had found something from an entirely different civilization. So we could have a ruin here that has nothing to do with either the builders or the villagers. It could be from a third group. This could be from by the ancestors of the Endermen, for instance. I don't fully buy into the fact that the Endermen are ancient builders changed by the end. I don't think there's enough evidence one way or the other to confirm that. It's just a theory, a game theory. Alright, let's see. It's not suspicious. It's not either. Okay. We're coming to the end of day 4 of our archaeological expedition. Now we're hitting stone below the dirt, which means our excavating will become a little more difficult. Got some wolves over there. If I wasn't so far away, I would stay up and kill a skeleton and get some bones. Because currently I only have one dog at my current base. And I like to have more around, but I think I might go bring some of the dogs from my old base over. I've got several new tamed cats in the area. My new base. I did some digging like this not too long ago. I did two chunks to build a slime farm, which if you saw my last stream, you will recognize as the world's most inefficient slime farm. But I dug those down to bedrock. We will definitely not have to do that here. We're only going down far enough to completely uncover the ruin. Alright. So, whoever built this had access to terracotta. But you might at first think that they would have had a large network of trade because Badlands are fairly far away from here, but you could actually get the clay from the bottom of the river here and dye it. And there are large holes in the river, which could indicate that that's what they did. It's not suspicious. It's hard to be sure sometimes. I definitely do not want to miss an artifact. Okay, anything in here? Any suspicious? None of this is suspicious sand. Okay, let's go ahead and remove those. This is not. I did bring a beacon with me, which I could set up, but honestly I don't think it's really necessary. Okay, is not either. Okay. So once again, this is the Family Quest server. This is a server that was created by myself, my son, my daughter, and my daughter-in-law. And it's been running just shy of 4 years. Actually, maybe we just passed the 4-year mark. In any case, they all still play on here somewhat infrequently. That's coarse dirt. They should make coarse dirt suspicious also. Anyway, so we titled our world Family Quest because originally it was Quest to Survive. But we've been playing so long now that we have buffed out everything to the maximum basically, which is good because I'm not that great at the player otherwise. I love playing in a long-term world. I like doing Minecraft. I like to play in a brand new survival world, but usually once I've survived past the that first few nights once I get settled in a permanent house and security and everything, it just kind of gets bored until I get to well, it just gets boring until you get to the point where you can just build anything. I guess the in-between period I don't care for. I like either the sandbox or the survival. The in-between kind of bores me, I guess. So we're playing survival, of course, as you can probably tell here, and we are playing on hard mode, not hardcore, just hard. I do not want to play hardcore and lose my entire game world. Or access to it, since it's a multiplayer world. Okay, we've got about a half hour of stream time remaining in real life, so about 3 more days. See what we can uncover here. Okay. So, we've got dirt here. Stone. That I'm going to assume is collapsed area, since I don't think they would have the capability to have silk touch. Okay, these are all just regular gravel, which means they are debris. And this dirt. That looks like suspicious sand. Yes. A record disc. Relic. Oh, this is the first of the new discs that I've gotten. And it's also an indicator to us that the builders of this site had some redstone technology in order to play music. Okay. None of these are suspicious. Oh, this one is. And what have we got? Did we lose that artifact? We're still picking up stuff. It looks like a piece of orange dye, but I don't have it in my inventory. Okay. That was probably because I stopped partial way through, which is unfortunate. Trail ruin artifacts. Let's see what the possible things we could have dug up were. Orange dye, wheat, it was too orange, yellow dye, yeah, must have been orange dye. I'm like 99% sure. Okay. So let's take a sign. Go over here. lost artifacts. Orange dye. Okay, we'll put another side below just in case we have the bad luck to lose another artifact. So far we have a building, or what is the top of a tower. Okay. Take that out. Some light in here. Okay, I'm going to double check. Okay, these are all regular sand. Okay, so where's dirt? Oh no, we have an underwater aquifer here. This is gonna, well, in some ways it complicates it, but in other ways it makes it easier. Okay. Oh, I wish I brought some sponges. Okay. I don't know, this, well, yeah, this artifact is quite extensive, this ruin. Alright, well, definitely gonna need some sponges to finish this, but for now, we'll just keep doing our excavation. Okay, neither of these is suspicious. Okay, let's block off our water. Wall off a section here. We can dry it out a level at a time with some dirt. Okay. Oops. All right. So and none of this suspicious. Okay. Piece of sand that I did not have a chance to tell if it was suspicious sand or not. Oh, it's dark and it's raining. Well, this expedition is proving to be harder than I thought. Okay. Harder than planned. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do a couple of levels here at once. Okay, we have some suspicious sand here, and we have an emerald. Okay. Artifact box, got an emerald. Okay, these are both fine to dig up. Dirt. These are sand or gravel. Nothing notable there. Dirt, dirt. Darn water. How about this gravel? Okay. I can take one level out of here. I'm going to need to get some wooden steps or ladders here while I'm working. Something that I can easily distinguish as something that I've added. Maybe stairs would be better. Some lapis. Okay. That block out. And lapis and coal. All in all, this is going to be a lot more involved than I was originally expecting. But you got to take your time and do it right. You don't want to end up like Heinrich Schliemann, the man who discovered the ancient city of Troy and blasted through the top levels looking for the famous Troy. And he found amazing things. Hello. Great. How you doing?